So number one is the ponytail. Okay, this is nothing new. You're gonna notice with a lot of these, we are doing the throwbacks. Okay, throwbacks, natural looking wigs, weaves, and extensions. And number one is the ponytail. Okay, so with the ponytail, welcome to the new day and age where they do have the ponytail in every single hair texture. So if you want to rock your hair naturally straight and you have more of like a kinky texture, they have ponytails in that texture. Or if you have 4A, B, C, 3A, 3B, 3C, there is a curly ponytail for every single hair texture. So you do not have any excuses. However, when it comes to protection, I personally do not get major damage when I do ponytails or do buns. I know a lot of people are very nervous about buns because it can break your hair off. If you are using a silk scrunchie or a silk ponytail holder and you're not putting your ponytail that tight, you should be fine. But that is completely up to you and how snatched you're trying to have your ponytail or bun. So as far as protection, it's kind of hard to rate it and it's completely up to you. But personally, my hair thrives in buns. Not even when I'm wearing a ponytail, but when I'm just wearing my hair naturally in a bun, my hair grows so much. But to each its own, right? To each its own. As far as versatility, of course, not really that much versatility. I would probably give it a 5 or 6 on versatility. Of course, you can wear a ponytail, you can do a high bun, you can do a low bun, you can do a low ponytail, you can do a middle ponytail, you can do a middle bun, but you can't do too much other than put it in some type form of a ponytail, okay? And as far as the whispers, I would have to say it's a loud 10. If you are having a ponytail that matches your natural hair texture, there's no reason why you should not be able to get away with it, especially if you're rocking it in a bun. There's no reason why you should not be able to get away with it looking as natural as possible. But that is completely up to you and the type of hair texture. This is also a ponytail. I will put them in the same category. However, with this one, it is more of using a track to create a ponytail opposed to a clip to make a ponytail. I'll let you watch it. This one is a very tiny, itsy bitsy piece of your hair that you have to have left out. And so this is very good for ladies who don't like a lot of leave. As far as versatilities, once again, I'll probably give it like a 7, maybe an 8. And this is because your hair is most likely going to be in that one style, especially because you're braiding your hair underneath. So you can't do too much with your hair. You can rock it down, you can braid it, you can curl it, you can put it in a ponytail, but that's about it. You can't really change the part because, of course, that little thin part is protecting over that track. And as far as the whispers, it's a solid 10, okay? Just like the U-part wig and just like the wig with no leave out, it's a solid 10 on the whispers. Number 3 is tape-ins. And yes, this is for all hair texture. Now, as far as protection, I have to give it a 0. I'm not gonna lie to you, there's nothing protecting your hair. This is not a protective hairstyle whatsoever, but now, welcome to 2021. They do have tape-ins for all hair textures, or you can just make your own tape-ins, right? So you can do these tape-ins. You can do them professionally, or you can do them at home. Of course, doing them at home, just like everything else, is not always the smartest unless you know what you're doing. So as protection, we have to give it a 0. Versatility, it's a 10. You can do absolutely any hairstyle that you want with these tape-ins, just like you would do if you had in clip-ins. The versatility is a 10 and the whispers is a solid 10. But remember, if you are not rocking hair extensions that are like your natural hair, that is your natural hair color, you will look crazy. And this is for all hair textures, okay? If it's not fitted for your hair, the whispers will turn into laughs once again because it will be noticeable. But if you get it done correctly, you are honest with yourself, you get your natural hair texture, regardless if you're rocking it curly or you're rocking it straight, and you make sure it's the right color and the right length to blend in with your hair, it is a solid 10 on the whispers. Number 4, glue-ins, okay? Once again, just like the tape-ins, I would not recommend doing this often to your hair, okay? Glue on your edges, glue in your hair is still your hair. Now, is this something that I recommend you doing every week for a long period of time? Absolutely not. This is something that, once again, you want to feel your scalp. You want to feel your scalp. You want to rock your natural hair out, but add a couple extensions into it. So you just glue it in for a couple days, okay? Try to use the glue remover for your hair and not using the actual like oil or something, okay? As far as protection, this is a straight 0. It might even be in the negatives depending on how you take care of your hair when you have these glue-ins tracks in. As far as versatility, is a 10, as you already know, and the whispers is a 10. If just like the last, like tape-ins, if you wear them correctly, the whispers will be a 10. If you don't, we will notice. Number 5 is a quick weave, okay? And just like number 4, you are gluing tracks onto a cap instead of your hair. So this is way more protective. So you're gonna braid your hair underneath, put a cap on top, then you glue the tracks onto protection. You'll probably give it an 8 or a 9 since you're gonna have some leave out. As far as versatility is not there. We'll give it a 6 because you can always flatten it, straighten it, curl it, cut it, okay? And as far as the whispers, this can look extremely natural. So we can give it a 9 or a 10 on the whispers as long as your weave, your extensions matches your natural hair texture. And remember when I'm saying this for girls that also live in places that have high humidity, because you have to remember when you go outside, if you are rocking your natural hair and you're straightening it, it needs to also match the weather that your hair is going to form when you go outside. So make sure you realize that as well. Here is also a quick weave with no glue in. This one I would give an 8 on protection because you do have leave out. However, on security, the security is scary because you have to remember it is just bobby pin. So if you brush a little too hard and it's a little kink, I don't know, girl, it might be a disaster, okay? However, we'll definitely have to give it an 8 on protection, on security. But as far as versatility, we're going to have to rate it low as well because there's not too many styles you can do because it's kind of like a sew-in. So we'll have to give it a 6 or a 7 on versatility. You know, cut it, curl it, straighten it, crimp it. However, of course, as usual, it is a 10 on the whispers. The wig with the bang, you still get the full protection, but you cannot see the lace, or if you see it, it's so small and it's in the middle of your head, so it looks like your natural hair. So I love. So the whispers can be a 10, but that's really up to each person in their opinion on hair with bangs. And number 7, shout out to Uptown Beauty, okay, because she put me on to the Brazilian knots. In part 1, I was talking about the micro links and the eye tips, and she told me, hey, I think for Black women especially, but of course white women, you can do this too, the Brazilian knots would be much better. And the Brazilian knots, as you can see, with the Brazilian knots, you're wrapping your hair and basically this little silk string, and that is what's connecting your hair, and then you tie it at the end. So you do that for each hair section, and I am obsessed. I definitely will be trying this. This looks amazing. As far as protection, I don't know as far as protection because your hair is not protected. The protection's not there, sis. It's not there. As far as versatility, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the versatility is a 10. The versatility is a 10. You can do absolutely any hairstyle you want with this. absolutely any hairstyle you want. So if you decide to do this with a more natural straight hair texture, or you're doing it with a curly hair texture, it works regardless, okay? And the whispers is a 10. The whispers are a 10. What can you say after you see this? What can you say? And number 8 is the half wig. Now, I personally really like the half wigs because, once again, the leave out is very minor, and there are plenty of hairstyles that you can do with it. But if you are not careful, this will look like a real wig, okay? And the whole point is to find hairstyles that look natural. So as far as protection, we'll give it an 8 or a 9 because you do have a little leave out that you have to leave out in the front in order to have that natural hairline look, right? As far as versatility, it's not too much versatility there. We can go ahead and give it an 8 or a 9 because you can really go crazy and have many different hairstyles. And as far as the whispers, I would say an 8 or a 9. That front part, I don't know, something about that front part looks a little suspicious to me, but that also depends on how you are actually rocking your half wig. So I would have to give that an 8 or a 9 on the whispers as well.